I misjudged you girls. I think I might actually like this place. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Hey, you know, you're not such bad young ladies after all.
Yeah, J&B Liquor? What kind of wine goes with Bill Maher? I think he's kosher red meat. Welcome back to 366 Weird Movies, Weird View Crew. And today we're going to take a random pick out of the reader suggestion queue. On our site, on 366 Weird Movies, there's a Suggest a Weird Movie link where you can submit your own idea for what movie should go on the list of the weirdest movies ever made. And let me tell you, that list is a mess. There's just hundreds of submissions that have been piled in there. People who really do not connect with what a weird movie means. So, today's movie is Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. 1989. And, I'm going to break our usual format, just tell you right up front. No, this is not a weird movie. This is the opposite of a weird movie. This is a bland, very tasteless, very phoned in, lazy movie, okay? So, it's so opposite of a weird movie that I'm going to actually use this one for a teaching moment to point out a few tips on how to tell when you're not watching a weird movie, and maybe that'll clear some of the clutter out of the submission queue. Here we go. Alright, not that this movie is particularly bad, it's just boring. The weirdest thing about Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death is that somebody actually remembered it enough to suggest it to us. So, it's a low-budget satire of feminism, and even at that, it's a very weak, limp-wristed satire. They're just milking it for a few cheap laughs. I don't know what it was about 90s cable in the 90s, late-night cable. It kind of went through a little male chauvinist revival. There was The Man Show. If you remember, there was Married with Children, which was very male-centric for the longest time. But really, they're still just milking it for laughs. Oh, guys, man, it's all about the beer, right? Yeah, they'll do that joke and more in this. So, anyway, it does star Playboy Playmate Shannon Tweed. And she sort of acts. We also have veteran actress Adrianne Barbeau. Now, IMDb trivia tells me that the production could only afford Barbeau for a single day. So, when they got her, they shot all her scenes that day going into the evening. And that's the second half of the movie, where more like 90% of the main plot is concentrated. Whereas the first half of the movie is an hour-long drag where it feels like they're just stalling, waiting for Adrianne Barbeau to return their phone call. That's probably exactly what happened. So, let's address the big stinky elephant in the room. This guy, right here. Okay. So, Bill Maher is in this movie, too. I understand that Bill Maher's popularity rating with the internet is about negative double digits right about now. He's said some controversial things. He's shut his mouth off a lot. And we're just pointing out, before you go having a big fight about it in the comments section, which is useless, we separate the art from the artist here. So we don't care about the artist's public life at all. We're caring about his job in the movie, okay? So, with that being said, man, he's another comedian with a talk show. Why do you guys get so upset about him? Why do you guys get so worked up about Bill Maher? Ellen DeGeneres is a comedian with a talk show. Jay Leno is a comedian with a talk show. They're comedians with talk shows. Don't look up to them to be political commentators or public intellectuals or deep insight gurus. Don't look up to them for that. Don't give them that power and they won't disappoint you because they're not. I'm going to move on. Anyway, that is Bill Maher, and now we have him dealt with. So, Red Pill Bill. Not that you should read too much into Bill Maher's involvement, since reportedly his appearance here is a favor that was called in by his old college chum, writer and director, J.F. Lawton. And that's pretty much the only reason this movie has to exist, is it was the freshman effort of writer and director J.F. Lawton. It was his very first effort, and, you know, I guess this movie was well worth it if it helped him hone his skills and eventually produce, let's see here, what was Lawton famous? away! Get him away! That is a movie that no weird fan should ever look at. Oh, that's horrible. Alright, that signs you're not watching a weird movie number one. If anybody involved on the crew has ever worked with either Richard Gere or Julia Roberts. Now, those people are so vanilla mainstream they bleed yogurt. Let's dive into the alleged movie. Now, I'm sure you've seen some low-budget movies before, but holy shoestring budget, Batman. This is one cheap movie. This is the kind of movie where you kind of cringe every time they open a bag of Fritos and you're worried about the bottom line budget. Are you sure they could afford that, even out of their own pocket? Oh, I hope you like looking at these bushes, because it's not going to get much more jungly than this.
As the Chinese bound the feet of young girls to cripple them into helplessness, so did the Amazon women break the legs of boys to make them subservient. Is it possible for men and women to coexist as equals? That's a subject we'll tackle in our next class.
Sharon Tweed plays Professor Margot Hunt, teaching feminine studies while brandishing a skull. This is Bunny, her sidekick, played by Karen Waldron.
And I really love your class.
Well, thank you, Bunny. You can call me Margot.
I like it so much. I've been thinking about changing my major from home economics to feminist studies, but I wasn't sure if you had any feminist cooking classes.
And this is going to be what passes for humor for the next 80 minutes.
Be a liberated girl. I can just feel it in my toes.
It could be those pointy boots.
Dr. Hunt gets drafted by some U.S. officials for a mission to infiltrate the Avocado Jungle and open negotiations with the cannibal tribe living there known as the Piranha Women.
Avocados are vital to this nation's security interests. With the communists already in control of Nicaragua and Guatemala and El Salvador strife with revolution, California is the last secure supply of avocados in the free world. We're on the verge of a major avocado gap with the...
Yeah, an avocado jungle in Southern California. Don't you dare ask why any of this is happening. It's an extended Saturday Night Live sketch. There is no why. I bet if they took more than an hour writing the script, I'll be amazed.
Piranha women, who are they?
They're an ancient commune of feminists. So radical, so militant, so left of center, they eat their men.
Oh, that. Well, if I like a guy, I usually start at...
They don't eat their men like that, Bunny. More like a black widow spider. They have sex with their men and they kill them. Then they tear them into strips like beef jerky and eat them with guacamole.
On the way, they also had to find out what happened to the other feminist anthropologist they sent, Barbeau's Dr. Kurtz, who vanished in the jungle previously.
2 years ago, we sent it to the Avocado Jungle, a leading feminist scholar, Dr. Kurtz.
Dr. Kurtz? Internationally famous author of Smart Women, Stupid, Insensitive Men?
By now, you should have guessed that we're set up for a Heart of Darkness plot where Dr. Kurtz turns out to be leading the cannibal tribe. So they set out in this driving scene as riveting as any out of William Friedkin's Sorcerer. But first, we have to stop in San Bernardino at the edge of the jungle.
San Bernardino, a rough speck of civilization on the edge of the Avocado Belt. We'll head down to some local establishments and see if we can find a mercenary to guide us through the jungle.
That's where they have to stop at a bar and hire an adventurer for hire, Bill Maher, as it turned out, playing an adventurer named Jim, as in Jungle Jim.
Not so fast, Dr. Margot Hunt, Ms. Ethno-Historian. There are still some real men left in this world. Men who haven't been castrated by the years of feminist propaganda that corrupted the public school system and infected primetime television. Men who believe that nature designed women to cook, nurture children, and pose for Penthouse magazine. Real men who see our role in this world is to love, protect, and yes, I'm not afraid to say it, dominate women.
Hey, do you suppose Bill does his own stunts?
I'll lead you to the Piranha Women. I'm man enough to face the dangers that lurk in the dark bosom of the jungle. Ah! 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 Ow!
I think he did take that bulky right up his butt. Is there a single joke in this entire movie where you can't see the punchline coming?
You know what jungle herb cures the poisonous bite of the river snake? You know where the only land route is around the white waters of death? You know the way through the secret maze caves that lie underneath Hangman's Cliff? Huh? do you?
Well, no, I don't. Do you?
Well, no, but I have this paperback.
Because I can predict almost every line before it's even uttered. Signs you're not watching a weird movie number 2. It's predictable. In fact, this entire movie is nothing but neutered and tame. It is straight-to-cable late-night 90s budget filler, and if that doesn't tell you how uninteresting it is, you just haven't appreciated what a wasteland late-night 90s cable was. So this is the Avocado Jungle. I know those of you living in Southern California right now are asking how they found the last square mile of Riverside that isn't paved over for vape shops and tattoo studios, but this was filmed back in the late 80s when there were still a few tiny farms dotting the region. And that's it. That's all the jungle you get. This movie wins the Blair Witch Award for being the second most irritating movie about 3 people stumbling around among plants for 90 minutes. And how's this for high adventure? The Disney Jungle Cruise ride from the point of view of the hippo.
A hippo, look!
I got it, charging at the boat.
Down the helm! Don't let it broadside, Jim! Hard aport!
They couldn't even afford a plastic model or something. This is how bad things were in the days before CGI. Eventually they run into an uncontacted tribe of wimpy men, whom Bill decides to teach how to be real men. Because beer is necessary to this process. This movie's take on the whole feminism debate belongs back in the 60s with Archie and Edith Bunker. It was stale even in 1989, and if you thought we'd scraped to the bottom of the barrel...
I'm not emotional or quivering.
Margot, are you getting your period?
Here's your period joke! Like all movies with this plot, the party breaks up into infighting and Bill... That does it! Look at that! His own stunts, ladies and gentlemen! Alright, so they snap out of all these shenanigans and finally contract the tribe that knows where Dr. Kurtz went.
That is quite correct.
Francine Kurtz. Then you are alive.
She's got one of those cute outfits on.
I have more than just the outfit, Bunny. The Piranha women have christened me Empress of the Avocado Jungle. I am their supreme ruler.
Thank you, Adrianne Barbeau. Please save this movie. She gives good value for dollar spent and seems to be having fun, even if a little phoned in. But hey, they didn't have very many dollars to give her in the first place, so good on her. Sure enough, she's the leader of the Piranha Women. The Piranha Women live in this unused campus building off of UC Irvine, maybe?
It's like a big Lego to me.
Leading a life that brings to mind what I imagine the parties must have looked like at Jeffrey Epstein's island. Kurtz, in her new role as Piranha Chief, has the party arrested. The women will be required to join the tribe. The men will be offered as carne asada.
Hey, what's up, Doc? Oh my God, you're marinating me! Hey. They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me!
From here, things pick up a bit. Bunny joins the tribe and decides eating 2 guys is her bag now, so...
Honey, damn it, I knew I shouldn't have brought you.
There's another tribe of cannibal women who had an ideological split, but the 2 tribe leaders now challenge each other to a duel to the death.
You know yourself fairly well.
I studied ancient weaponry at Berkeley.
Dun, 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 dun. And, like, a bunch of stuff happens. Seriously, I'm not even going to bother spoiling anything because look me in the eye and tell me you really care. So, as I say, not a weird movie at all. No reason to even ask, no reason to even submit it. Please don't do this to us anymore. This is a completely disposable movie. It has nothing to say, nothing to offer, and I have the feeling even Bill wishes that we'd forget it all. I also wish that I'd be more than happy to grant, because quite frankly, I've seen this movie 3 times now, and I still, as I sit here, can't even remember a single scene or frame of it. It's nothing it does matter. So, and that's sign you're not watching a weird movie number 3. It's forgettable. If you want a more modern use of Amazons as a comment on modern gender politics, Rick and Morty episode has you covered right there. Signs you're not watching a weird movie number 4. Rick and Morty episode covers the same ground and did it weirder. If you want a funnier movie about cannibals, go with Eating Raoul. Definitely recommended. If you just want a plain weirder movie about cannibals, well, the 366 Weird Movies Index has you covered up and down. I'm thinking of Giles Edwards, my colleague, for some reason. He has a very favorite movie of his he might be moved to talk about sometime. That does tick a box for cannibalism, but I don't want to spoil any more than that. It is delicious. If you like this level of gross-out sex comedy, I would recommend Hell Comes to Frogtown, which is everything this movie ever dreamed of being, and yet is still done weirder and funnier. And if you just want a weird movie tied to the Inland Empire, no less than David Lynch awaits you. And just think, this movie came out just 2 years before Silence of the Lambs. If you're in the mood for super light fare and chance upon Cannibal Women, the Avocado Jungle of Death, and a late night flip through, you might be tempted to snack on it until you find a more substantial movie. Just be advised it's likely to go through you like day old nachos grande. There's no actual avocados in this movie. We're just left with the pits.